Well, the world's on fire.
He's not even in office yet.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
Wow.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but 2025 is, coming in hot. That has got to be like the smoothest intro that we've done so far in all of our shows.
And you hit record.
And I hit record and all that good stuff. But anyway, ladies and gents, welcome back to another episode of GayTalk 2.0, an LGBT podcast, the second of 2025. And we're streaming live on our YouTube channel for all of our Patreon supporters on the day of recording. And we love that for all of you. Thank you for supporting. My name is Tom. I'm your host. And as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing co-host, starting with the first one.
Hey, y'all. Nick or Trish.
And
J-Bear, a.k.a. You know the rest.
Your boyfriend's boyfriend. And welcome back to another episode. So there is a lot going on in these United States of America. Shit is burning. Shit is hitting the fan. There is so much. But before we get into all of that, as usual, I will toss it to my boys for a quick roundtable to see how we're doing since the last time we hit record. And this time, you're up. Jaybird, how are you?
Good.
I pick on Trish all the time.
Yeah.
I make her go first.
Yeah,
but we're picking on you.
I
how are
figured
you?
that was happening.
What's going
On a
on?
scale of from 1 to
It's an
It's
yeah. We're 2025 and we'll see.
She's smacking herself with a microphone.
It's more of the same so far.
Yeah.
No major changes. I guess
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yet with a YEETTTT.
Yeah, the political the political themes out here, and every day seems to get a little more interesting and crazier.
Yeah.
By the day,
By the minute.
by the minute,
By the minute, to say the least.
social media is becoming a shit show. But that's not uncommon, I guess.
No, I mean, social media has always been a shit show.
Yeah.
But given, the announcement by Mark Zuckerberg of what he plans to do for Facebook
Mark
and Zuckerberg, Instagram, where he's planning to do away with fact checking, is quite disturbing given the fact that, we're about to roll
Why do you
into
think that's happening?
the Trump years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We're going into the dark ages.
It's gonna be a fucking roller coaster for the next 4 years,
It's
and
gonna
we
be
better
interesting to say the
Yeah.
least.
We
My
better-
my coworker this morning was like, I walked in, and he just looked at me. He goes, "Winter's coming," and I was like, "What the fuck does that? Winter's here?" He's like, "No, the next 4 years."
It's gonna be fucking winter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy, and there's a lot of people that are gonna be affected. There's a large part of our community that's gonna suffer the consequences of having someone of this caliber. I don't know if that's the right word, being elected back into office after going through the tumultuous 4 years that we went through before. Did I say that right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. It's I for the life of me don't understand why that and all of this didn't end at grab him by the pussy.
Yeah. Well.
It's the United States of
America.
America.
But anyway,
But
so Jaybird, so you're meh.
meh.
Okay.
Meh.
Trish, darling, how are you? You're so you're the he's the meh.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what I'm gonna be.
Yeah. No, this week has been weird for me because I've been off work for like almost 2 full weeks.
It's been 84 years.
Yeah, and like my sleeping schedule was all fucked up. I've been so tired at work because I'm like going to bed later and I was getting up later. And so now I'm trying to like retrain myself. And so today was better.
That's rough.
But like it was taking 2 weeks off. It was a lot.
Yeah. I
mean, don't get me wrong.
I hear you.
2 weeks off was fun. Is that you fuck up everything you normally do.
Yeah.
I don't gotta be up at 7. Turn that shit off.
I know. I know. Like on fucking Christmas Day, I woke up at like 11, and my dad and mom were still sleeping. Like,
and that, oh God. So you woke up at 11?
yeah. I mean, we do stay up late. Christmas Eve is like the big thing, so we stay up past midnight.
We do the same thing for us.
So I wasn't surprised that we slept in, but like we all were just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, no rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing. I think we kind of did the same thing and slept in and hung out. And I think the only difference this year is we decided to do Christmas Day at my daughter's.
Mm-hmm.
You did mention that last week. Yeah.
So the good thing was it was in the afternoon, so we got up. Yeah, we got up late too. That's actually, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, we got up super late. I think I woke up around 11 o'clock myself.
Yeah, New Year's was a hot mess for me. So I don't know if I mentioned this before. We recorded on Thursday, which was the day after New Year's. But on New Year's Day, we did.
Yeah,
Thursday
it was the day after New Year's
we
Day.
did.
Yeah.
So on
New
New
Year's Day.
New Year's Eve, I had gone to the bar and I hung out and I MC the countdown, the whole 9 yards, and it was glorious because I didn't have to bring my own microphones and none of that. But I think this is probably why I'm like
10, 9,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Happy New Year.
1. Happy last year. Because I kind of feel like I want to go back to last year because this asshole won't be sworn in. But anyway, so on New Year's Day, I had a friend of mine call me. He was like, "Hey, I'm having a brunch, and it's gonna be a wicked sing-along brunch, and you should come because you have an amazing voice, and I really would like you to sing a song." And he's like, "Well, what song do you want to sing? And let me know what key, and I'll make sure the whole 9 yards and everything's ready." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I want to sing For Good."
You about to toot your horn.
I am.
Yeah,
but I'm
I
not.
figured.
So I woke up, I was hungover as shit. I couldn't even like hold my diaphragm in the right, upright position. And here I am rolling myself. First and foremost, they sent out the invite. It started at 12 and ended at 2. Right? So it was just a 2-hour window. I woke up at 11:30. And I'm thinking, oh, it's going to start at 2. It'll end at 4. I can take a shower. I'm taking a shower and I decide to like Google the address, right? Because I forget how to get there all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, this started at 12. It's 1:30. I'm like, fuck.
I'd be like, I'm just not going.
So no, I ended up going anyway. And I walk in. And they have the only fucking maestro on the fucking piano going bananas. And like the entire group that was there were like theater people.
Oh,
And I walk in, I'm like,
the whole production.
and they were fucking singing they were singing the entire Wicked score. And they didn't sing For Good because he had told them I would be there and I would sing it. And I'm like, and then I get there and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to them sing. And I'm like, I am not singing this song. These people are too good. This is like way too good for me. And then of course I had to like, he's like, well, are you ready? And I'm like,
I still can't find my diaphragm.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for like last night's memories, but I ended up getting up and, he had the song in the right key where I could sing it. And we ended up I ended up doing Kristen Chenoweth's part. And then I just looked at the entire crowd that was there and I was like, y'all could do it, Dina, because I'm not going to do them both. And it was absolutely fucking beautiful. These people fucking killed it. I'm going to say I was so-so, but they killed it.
I have this funny feeling that like Tom's hungover and he's like, oh, this is great. But if I had walked in, I'd be like, what? What's happening?
No. When I tell you these people were like I mean, they knew every nuance of the song, every inflection, every like run, and it was just like.
Can we get an example?
No, absolutely not. It was just like if I was watching Wicked live. It was crazy. Like you had 3 people over there doing the high notes, 3 people over there doing the low notes, 3 people over here doing ad libs. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, it was fabulous.
All right, but they killed it.
They did. And, you know, I held my own as much as I could, hung over like a crazy person, but it was pretty interesting.
Nice.
You know, and then.
Yeah, well, I did, we did go out and watch Wicked.
How did you like it?
It was good. Hated the seats.
Oh, we had that same issue.
Yeah, we didn't. Well,
Did you do IMAX?
yeah, but the problem is, well, you know, with the kick-up seats and whatever.
It's
but
Bridgeport.
it was Trumbull.
Well,
But-
it's Trumbull.
Trumbull's supposedly one of the best theaters around.
Not next to
But-
Bridgeport, it ain't.
But I guess I didn't book anything online. I just kind of figured you'd just show up and buy fucking tickets.
Right.
It's a movie
No,
theater.
not anymore.
So what you get is what
Yeah.
you get.
Yeah, we were like fucking 3 rows in front. We were like, yeah.
So you're
we were
like
like
this.
this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's harsh.
We're like this.
That is harsh.
But movie itself,
Mm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. And you know what? It's funny because I've always said in the back of my mind, you know, what if?
What
and
if?
this story kind of just covers that whole what if I've always had.
Yeah.
Why? There's always a reason why a person becomes a villain. Why?
Right.
You know, and I think it was a great show.
Well,
It was nice.
I think that, you know, one of the most important lessons I learned from Wicked and the whole story and the way it's written and the way it's portrayed is that those that are in power, those that win the war, control the narrative.
Control the narrative.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's true for a lot of story writing.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
they villainized her. She was not a villain.
no, she wasn't at all. I mean, if anything, she didn't want to do anything but.
Help.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, Trish and I, we went to the movie theater and we seen it, and then it came out on video. So Trish bought it. I have access to Trish's account, so of course we watched it here, and I think we watched the ending like 4 times. I think it was 4.
No, it was not 4. It was 2 or 3.
Or maybe when you left, I watched it again.
That's probably what
Yeah.
happened. Because you said when
That
I was
sounds
leaving,
true. Yeah.
I'm watching it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. It was. When I tell you that
It's a good ending.
Ariana and Cynthia Erivo absolutely swallowed
Yep.
those roles.
Yeah.
They did what they needed to do, and I'm very much looking forward to part 2.
Yep.
But I'm glad you watched it.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice. Yeah.
Look at you getting all cultural and
Good.
stuff
all
on
cultured.
us.
All cultured.
It's fabulous.
Yeah. I don't I don't do movie theaters as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Kids
well,
are all grown up.
I do when I really want to see something.
Yeah.
Like we
Right.
went and saw that. We went and saw
What else did we see?
Marvel he was the guy. Was it Spider-Man?
Was it Spider-Man?
Or was it it was oh god.
Was it Wolverine?
The
wizard. Doctor Strange.
Doctor
Right. We
Strange.
went to see that. I think we also went to see something else, and I just can't remember what it was.
And I'm sorry, I just love a movie theater popcorn. Like I just do. Like it's like
We
a guilty
do.
pleasure.
We do.
I love it. I'm like, butter that shit up. You got your powder.
I did. Okay, can we talk about the powder a little bit?
Boy.
So they have
You
like
brought
the
your own
different.
shit?
No,
Oh.
so they have these little powdered things that you can buy. Because normally you could put like cheddar cheese, you can put like ranch, you
Yeah.
can put like.
And
so-
I'm just like, butter me.
and
Yeah.
He's like butter me up, and I'm like, get me that fucking little bottle
And
right.
he's over there shaking it the whole time.
The whole time, I was like, every time I took a bite, I was like, oh, it needs more powder. It's life.
Yeah.
It is absolute life.
You know, you could just go pick it up at Walmart.
I know, but we didn't like. I'm not going to Wally World for that.
And then next time you go, you bring your own powder.
Yeah, well, I wish we would have brought our own liquor and everything else. I was like, well, you should have
We
like.
didn't drink though.
No, that's what I'm saying. We should have taken shots, and every time she went, oh, that's a shot.
Yeah, I'm actually not mad about the way I look on camera right now.
No, you look amazing. You look fabulous.
Yeah.
Let's focus on her. You look great, and that sweater looks amazing on you, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like this, but
It is life. I can't wear it. And then
I'm not skinny. I'm
She
getting
is.
there. So you can still visibly see me.
Oh, please.
That's the point.
No, but I want to disappear.
You want to be invisible. I cannot.
I've heard it said,
I've heard it.
I heard it said
that people come into our lives for a reason.
that people come into our lives
For a reason.
bringing something we must learn.
And we are stuck.
With Trump for the next 4 years, we go.
I'll be 40.
That's why Cali started burning itself
And I'll
down.
be burning it all
And I said they
down.
need to stop that shit because we need their votes.
The what happened?
Yeah, wildfires went to the wrong state. No,
Yeah, oh, I know. So
these wildfires, but it's insane, and I didn't think they would be at a high risk of wildfires at this time of the year.
well, I mean, when you think about so not so much that they're not at risk because they're at risk year round, right? When you think about Southern California, it's fair weather and temperatures all year round.
Generally dry.
Generally, and so they're always at risk, and they do great work in making people aware of the things you should and should not do.
Yeah.
But this is devastating. I mean, to see communities in areas where you would never expect. I mean, this is an inner city area.
Yeah. Do you remember Uvalde David that we had on the show?
Yes,
His house, literally, I just saw a video of him, and his house was surrounded by fire.
it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. And, for me, it's like watching people. There was this guy, and he came on the news, and he was stuck in traffic. And he's like, I've been stuck in traffic for 4 hours, and I can't get to my house, and I don't know how my dogs are. And he was sobbing because of his dogs. He didn't care about anything else. He didn't care about his car. He was sobbing because of his dogs, and I don't know what I would do. I have no idea what I would do, but I know I would probably kill somebody.
Shishka Fritz.
No. Fitz just had a birthday, by the way. His birthday was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Wait, today's what, the 8th? His birthday was the 6th. So 2 days ago. And, he's still a little cunt, like always.
You got mad at them today.
I sure did. They were fighting each other. I was like, I don't like when you guys fight each other. It's not nice. But it's scary. And, to see all that's happening and, that led us into our opener today. So, the world is on fire and, and this idiot's not even in office. And we don't joke lightly about the situation, but it's very devastating to see people losing their homes, losing their livelihoods, losing their lives.
And
lives
also
have
just
been
scared
lost.
shitless.
Yeah,
like
of
they
course.
can't get out their house and they're surrounded by fire.
Right.
Like,
and then when you get on the road, you're stuck in traffic for hours.
yeah.
And LA traffic is already bad to begin with.
Yeah, so I
Just on a regular day.
yeah, this morning I was kind of watching the news as I was getting ready, and from Police Academy, Steve
Gutenberg, right.
who lives in the area,
was going
was
house to house.
interviewing.
Yeah.
They interviewed him, and he's in the middle of the streets, and he's like, people are just leaving their cars in the middle of
Highways,
Palisades
yeah.
and walking away like they're leaving it at a parking lot. He goes, if you're gonna abandon your vehicle, leave the keys so people like myself can move them out the way so the fire departments could get through.
Yeah.
And then they show a giant ass bulldozer
just bulldozing
plowing
cars
out of the street.
It's scary.
It's
It is
insane.
scary.
So, I mean, and you got to think of it. People just don't fucking think.
Right.
And let's say your
Well,
vehicle
they think
doesn't
they're
get
gonna
damaged.
come back to it and it's gonna be there.
Yeah, but then think about access.
Right. I mean, if your car's not there because you left your keys when you come back, that's what insurance is there for, right? But yeah, it was scary to see a bulldozer just come right through and start bulldozing cars just to gain access for firefighters to get to where they need to
get to go.
It's scary.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And, my heart goes out to everyone in California. I don't know if you're aware, but, the California market is one of our biggest markets as far as distribution for the show. So we have a lot of listeners that live in the California area, and, our hearts go out to you. It's like, every time I'm outside, we get a snowstorm and I'm plowing, foot of snow, trying to get it out of my driveway.
Plowing or getting plowed?
Both. And I'm trying to clear my sidewalks and clear my driveway.
The homo on the hill.
I keep repeating to myself, I hate you both. I keep repeating to myself, I don't have earthquakes. I don't have forest fires. I don't have wildfires. I don't have snakes. I don't have alligators. I don't have any of this. I can deal with this to avoid all of that. Or hurricanes, and it's really sad. It really is.
Yeah, it's
really
insane. Yeah. Cali's so beautiful out there. I've been there twice, I believe.
Just twice. Someone like you, I would think you would go there often.
Often, yeah, right.
Yeah. So why not? What's stopping you?
My wife. No.
Oh.
No. Actually, I have a family that's living out there now, so now I have an excuse to travel. But prior to my cousin, he moved out there a couple years ago, and it's been out there about 5 years now.
Yeah, just don't turn it into a your brother situation.
Yeah.
Okay?
I don't want to go back home to her.
I ain't going back. I'm staying here.
Yeah, no, it's intense. It's intense, and all jokes aside, our hearts go out to those in California that are affected by this, unfathomable natural disaster that is this wildfire. And at this point, they don't even know what's caused it. If it was a man-made or human inflicted incident, or if it's just an act of nature. And so, not to mention, it's 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, it's crazy out there right now.
Yeah, the winds don't help it any.
Right? No, it doesn't.
Fueling the flame.
It's scattering the embers, which is in turn causing more fires. So and if it's as dry as it's been, that's the other thing. We've had very little rainfall, even out here.
Yep.
Right.
The past year, it's been insane.
I mean, I think we're about to dodge a bullet. So, when we look at forecasts, there's two different models. There's the European model, and then there's God knows what other model there is. I can't remember the name, but one of them was showing a snowstorm that would have dropped over 1.5 feet of snow, bullseyed right for our area, Connecticut, in New York, the tri-state area. And then there's the other model that shows the storm going south of us. And so as we get closer to Saturday, which is when we would have been expecting to get this, doomsday snowstorm, things sort of kind of start narrowing down. So we're supposed to get a dusting, but it is supposed to sort of kind of stay south.
Honestly, I'm sorry. I always feel like they're never right when it comes to snow.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you want to be a meteorologist? I want to be a meteorologist.
No.
I get to be wrong all the time and still get paid.
I want to be with a meteorologist.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about, too. Yeah, he's a nice daddy.
Ugh,
When is he coming on the show?
I don't know.
We got to make that happen
Yeah.
so we can mess with him.
Yeah.
Be like, tell us all the news. Make sure it's all horrible. We'll still love you for it.
Yeah.
Because it's the truth.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be like, so I'm an officiant. Just read these words.
And what
Sign this.
what are those words going to be? Oh, shit, you're married.
Vows.
Vows.
Yeah.
I vow to love you no matter what happens when it comes to you predicting the storm. You should have predicted the storm that I'm about to be in your life. That's what he should have predicted.
I was talking to one of our friends today.
Where are you now?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say who, but recently their significant other moved in, and seemed a little soon. And I kind of said, I was like, wow. And I was like, in all that time where we were sort of trying to do something.
Yeah, no.
Where was my invite? He's like, I just don't think I could fucking live with you.
No.
I was like, okay, that checks out though.
But it makes sense. Was he wrong?
No, we would have killed each other.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I would have had to like play referee.
Yeah, I don't know.
All the time.
Yeah.
Come in with a body armor.
I'm surprised we didn't kill each other during COVID because we did spend like
A lot
2 years
of time together, yeah.
in this backyard.
I mean,
you did throw a bottle of off bottle.
At his head, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I was like,
that's why I'm saying you would have to walk in with body armor.
and then
Shit
like,
flying across the house all
like
the
a
time.
knife.
and then
Yeah.
I did hide my knives from you.
I am fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The Rican rubbed off on her
It is.
every which way.
She needs to stop hanging around with Puerto Ricans. That's what it is. All right. Well, listen, we do have a lot of stories to bring up and talk about. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we do have more dish. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gents, welcome back from the break. Thank you for allowing us to rinse and repeat and refresh and do all that good stuff. Yeah, I know. What does that mean?
Rinse and repeat?
Well,
Rinse, refresh, and repeat.
Rinse, refresh, and repeat. Yeah, but I got it.
You got it?
I got it. He's married now, so you know.
Yeah.
It happens. All right, well, we are back. We do have a couple of things that we wanted to toss out into the universe and talk about. I want to talk about because I have been very proud of myself. I have been very restrained since Election Day. I have not been watching mainstream media. I have, tried to, but today I said, fuck it, I'm going to start watching. And then I come across the fact that Trump the Dump, because that's what he is, had a news conference, evidently. He's not even president yet, but, this is where we're at. And he made a whole bunch of, like, crazy, wants, things that he plans to do that are very disturbing, to say the least. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to now, buckle up and hang in there for the next 4 years and call it out and do what we need to do. But this fucker went on TV and started talking about annexing Greenland.
Yeah.
Really? Like
we're gonna rename it. We're gonna rename it American Land.
Yeah, and you want to like go and annex a sovereign nation, all because of American security, because it's all in the interest of national security.
Yeah, he wants to rename Canada America 2.0.
Yeah, and and so he said he said that he would bring Canada in as the 51st state.
51st.
First of all, can we talk about DC? DC's been waiting in the sidelines to become the 51st state for quite a while, and that's very significant, and I'll tell you why. So we know that because he is president right now, Judge Merchan in New York is going to go ahead with, completing the trial that took place in New York and reading we know the verdict. He was guilty, and he has to go through and now sentence Trump. He's not going to serve any time, but he wants to put that on the books and get it out of the way because he has to close this case and before this man becomes president. So he got away with it. He also was indicted on over 90 plus counts of
fraud, right?
Fraud, and all the cases that were brought against him at the federal level. Yeah, that he is now going to get away with because the next person that comes in, obviously himself, gets to appoint the next Attorney General of the United States of America. And therefore, he has no accountability for the crimes committed on January 6th of 2020.
He was trying to get it postponed, right?
Oh, he was trying to push it out as long as he could
yeah.
in hopes that he would become president, because then he would get an attorney general that would quietly just push all those federal cases away.
Out the door and
didn't
eliminate.
he get immunity? Wasn't there?
So he was granted
There's
immunity
immunity for certain things, not all.
while he is acting as president. He is immune from prosecution as long as he's acting as a president.
Well, he's definitely not going to act as a president.
Well, we know that, right? So here's my problem with D.C. D.C.'s been lobbying to become the 51st state. And when we say D.C., we mean the District of Columbia. Now, all of the crimes that were committed on January 6th happened in the District of Columbia.
Wait, hold on, timeout. I thought it was going to be the District of the United States now.
Whatever it is, whatever it is.
District of America.
So here's what we stand to lose as a people by not allowing the citizens of the District of Columbia, which is Washington D.C., having a say in how they prosecute the crimes that are committed in their jurisdictions. So because D.C. is considered a federal district, all crimes committed in D.C. are technically considered federal crimes, right? The crimes committed on January 6th in 2020 are considered federal crimes, which is why they were tried as federal crimes. Had D.C. been a state, D.C. could have tried all of those offendants or all of those people who committed those crimes and felonies at a state level rather than at a federal level. So now Trump coming in and being sworn in as the next president of the United States means that he can get away with the crimes that were committed on his behalf, and there's no accountability for the people who committed those crimes on his behalf.
Yeah, but D.C. wasn't ever going to become a state.
But it should, and they've been lobbying forever to do it. But let me tell you, had D.C. been a state, right, the District of Columbia, they have enough people who don't have voting representation in Congress to legislate how they operate. So they operate under the guise of the federal government. If these crimes were committed and DC were a state, DC could have actually tried these people on state crimes, which meant that Trump, when he became president, could not pardon these people.
Yeah.
Right? But because it is not, and because they're considered federal crimes, because they happen on a territory that's considered the, federal government, these people, on day one, he has already announced that he's going to pardon them all. And so they'll get away with being criminals, which is not something that you would get away with being in any other state. If you commit a crime in a state and you are punished and you are sentenced and you are convicted of a crime, a president cannot pardon those state crimes. A governor can, but a president can't. But because this happened in D.C., he literally on day one can pardon all of those insurrectionists. And
what is it right now, like 1,500 or something?
There's no accountability for it whatsoever.
That were sentenced.
Yeah,
That's quite a bit.
It's a very large number of people.
Yeah.
So he's operating in the sense that a lot of these things happen in D.C. and therefore he has no accountability because his new attorney general is just gonna, that's done, close this, close that, do this. And so he's coming out and making crazy things like saying we're going to annex Greenland and Canada's going to become the 51st state, and he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I mean, do you hate Mexican people that much?
I have no words.
If that wasn't racism at its worst.
But you know what? That's going to literally be like, his constituents are going to be like,
fuck yeah. Yeah,
of course.
Definitely do that.
Of course. I feel like, what? We should take a poll just with your family members and think if that's a good idea.
Oh my God. I told you about what happened today.
Oh God. And then he says that he wants to take control of the Panama Canal. Now, Jay, you had a theory as to why he wanted to do that.
So rename it the America Canal.
Yeah, well, name it the America Canal, but he said because
I think he's what they're claiming is that China has some sort of influence over Panama, and they're able to do trade through the Panama Canal, and the U.S. kind of gets looses on those revenues. So I mean, I understand where he's coming from. He's trying to.
But Panama,
it's
Panama is a sovereign state. It's a sovereign state. They get to dictate how they move through the world and how they navigate and do whatever it is that they want to do on their own without the U.S. having to come in or at least a wannabe president coming in and saying, we feel like you're giving, too many goodies to China.
lenient,
But like, why does he think he has control over these fucking areas? Like, you don't.
Because he is an entitled dumbass that just wants to
I think it
feel
was Roosevelt
or at least
who-
give the illusion that he's important.
I
That
think it
what
was
he says.
Roosevelt was the one who relinquished U.S.
Control of
the Panama Canal
right.
to Panama. So
And that was a signed treaty, by the way,
yeah,
that allowed that to happen. And
He
it's
doesn't
like,
give a fuck about anything.
no, of course he
No.
doesn't. And it's scary. And where are my notes? Why are my TV not on? But anyway. So yeah, that's happening, and it's just concerning and disturbing. And, to think that, I have to give it up to Kamala Harris. January 6th, as you know, we had to certify the election results in Congress. And you know what didn't happen this January 6th? An insurrection. And the losing person, the person who lost the election to this dumbass, had to sit there
I know. And certify it, yeah.
and certify the election results, one state after the other. And to see her calm, collected, and doing her sworn duty was a complete contrast to what we experienced in 2020 on January 6th. It's scary. And then to see the shit
Meanwhile,
show.
he's saying that like Biden is doing everything he can to not make it a peaceful transition of power.
Not at all. They're ready and willing and able to do the peaceful transfer of power as it calls in our Constitution to do so. It's scary, But
he was the only living president that didn't show up at inauguration. I'm wondering if any of the other ones will show up this year.
I don't know, and I'm interested, and that would be the only reason why I would watch. And to think that
It would
have
be a huge statement.
yeah.
Oh, it would, but I think they would show up. I think that Hillary's going to be there, Clinton is going to be Bill's going to be there. I don't know.
They're all in a text thread right now. They're like, "What do you think?
Are we going to do this? Are we not going to do this?" Like,
And Michelle's like, "Fuck that shit."
I was like, I'm not going. I wouldn't go. Like, honestly, I wouldn't. But, what kind of message does that send to the American people, right?
Yeah, but what message does it actually send when you actually show up?
That's democracy working.
Yeah, well, he didn't show up.
Well,
But-
but do you
I know
want to
that's
be
petty,
do you,
but-
exactly? Do you want to be a bitter Betty?
Kinda.
I don't. But do you support this guy?
Well,
And
you
do you-
showing up, it has nothing to do with whether you support this guy or not. It has more to do with tradition, right?
Yeah.
Anytime a president has ever gotten inaugurated,
if they show up, I hope they all show up with like Kamala pins.
oh my God, that would be amazing. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I have to give it up to Kamala to sit there as the president of the Senate, because that's what, in a sense, she is, and go through this process and announce the person she ran against as the winner, it takes balls. And it just shows you that, the Democratic Party has always, well, in recent history, had more class and will have more class than any Republican that that currently has served or will serve.
Yeah, we're in a different America now.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's different.
It's really scary.
Even during like Bush, the Republicans weren't that bad.
No, but they showed up, right? And I think the only president that ever didn't show up for an inauguration was...
Sorry, let me rephrase that.
Well,
Weren't this bad.
Yeah, ex-president.
The last ex-president that didn't show up for inauguration was the one that got impeached the first time around before Bill Clinton. That was Nixon.
Well, yeah.
Nixon. He had to disappear. He had to just go away. And for me, as you mentioned, I think I want to watch just to see who shows up, but it's scary. It's scary because, Congress is about to start swearing members in, and the current speaker and the new re-elected speaker, which happened to be the same person, just announced that they are going to ban transgender individuals from using a bathroom in which they identify with in Congress. And that's very alarming because we just had our very first member ever, a transgender member, elected into the U.S. Congress.
I mean, are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. And so this is the kind of stuff that we're going to have to deal with for the next 4 years or potentially for the rest of our lives. Will we have an election in 4 years from now?
Girl, if we don't, I'm out.
Girl, we're going to have to go somewhere else. I think we're going to get murdered. And, it's scary. It's scary. It's alarming. And I don't know. I don't understand. And for the life of me, I will never understand how we are here again. That is just the its of it. But here we are. We are what? It's January 8th. On the 21st, this man is going to get sworn in. God knows what we're going to hear this man say.
I honestly think that people think he's going to be there for them, and he's just not.
So here's the thing. So do you recall or remember in the least his first inauguration?
A little bit, not really.
How it was all about I had the biggest crowd ever, and the fucking National Mall was just fucking empty. And that was a thing for the next 4 years while Biden was president, that, his inauguration was the best ever. Everything is always the best ever, but it's really not. And I think it's going to be a telltale sign for America to see what kind of crowd this man is going to bring in for his inauguration the second time around. It's disturbing. Here we are. Why are you laughing?
Because every time there has something to do with crowds and Trump, it's always
I know.
thousands and thousands, and according to what they report. And
what was it?
It's an empty stadium.
Barack Obama said this weird infatuation with crowd size.
Yeah.
That was such a classic line. But yet here we are. And, out of all of this, the most disturbing for me is to see what we as the LGBTQ plus community are going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Well. Right. Cuts in funding for, places like, for example, our Pride centers and our arts and our arts programs, human services, things like that.
Cultural funding, all that stuff.
When you think about what we're about to unfortunately have to go into,
I have no idea.
What do you think is going to be, how is that going to impact, for example, the work that's being done in the Pride Center in New Haven?
Well, I think it's going to impact states and municipalities first, right? So, and then basically what I'm thinking is going to happen is if we don't kowtow to the federal government, we are going to be under fire or under threat of losing funding, generally, both at the state level and then at the municipal level, because the state doesn't have the funding to then give back to the cities. And if that happens, that means that all of the local funding that comes from the city and all of the state funding that comes for our nonprofits and our service organizations like the Pride Center, that means that the funding won't be there to actually support the center. So what that ultimately means is, how do we move forward in a world in which the funding isn't there to support the organizations that are actually supporting the work on the ground, that are helping the people, if we don't kowtow to the federal government? And by that, I mean, like, for example, ICE, like if we don't let ICE just come in and start sweeping through schools and taking kids and taking families, and we're a sanctuary city, right? So like if we push back, like what does that look like? The state itself is also technically a sanctuary state. Like they are going to push back. And if we don't get the funding that we need as a state, what are we going to do?
Right.
Taxes are already too high in Connecticut. You know, the people of Connecticut, probably the majority, can't afford to pay higher taxes to cover that cost. So are we going to ultimately have to say, all right, let the federal government come in and do what they want to do so that we can get the funding that we need?
Right. Which is sad.
Oh, it's
sad and scary sad. Because it's like,
because then as a state, how are we actually given the right to rule our own state or like run our own state? Right. You know, I mean, we have a federal government, of course, but we also have state government, which is very, very important. Like when we talk about the fact that if the Supreme Court were to overturn gay marriage, you can still get married in Connecticut.
Right.
What if the federal government said, well, we're not giving you funding if you keep doing that?
Right. I think that there's some language in our Constitution, and I'm sure someone's probably going to correct me if I'm wrong, but
in the state constitution,
the federal constitution, that our state's right to self-determination under state constitution shall not be infringed by the federal government as long as it doesn't have to do with interstate trade and specific things, right? And so
we would have to look into it a little deeper too, because does that also mean that then the federal government can still put pressure on the state governments?
Of course. I mean, they can deny funds, they can deny.
We can do whatever we want, but then they can say, all right, fine.
Right. We won't give you this and we won't give you that. And it's like, but then you also have to think about too the flip side. So let's look at California, for example, right? California is the fifth largest economy in the world. It is. That's fact. California pumps in to the federal government more money than it receives in assistance for its citizens, right? And so if you have a state like Connecticut, right, we're taxpayers, we pay the federal government taxes, and now you're denying us our ability to use those tax funds because you deem us a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city, and you're denying funds. Are you in some way, shape, or form infringing our rights as a state to operate, number one, and to also contribute into our federal government?
Well, as a state, they have every right to say, all right, you're not giving us funding, you're not getting this back.
Well,
not really.
Not really. No, you can't do that, right? It's like federal government gets their IRS always gets their money, girl. Mm-hmm. Have we not learned our lesson? Tío Sam always gets his money. So, what do we call him in Spanish? So it's Uncle Sam in English. Tío Samuel. Is it Samuel?
Have to be,
yeah. I don't know. Someone always gets his money.
Yeah. Well, you know what also is starting to freak me out a little bit is watching the trend around the country with corporations and organizations that are slowly peeling back their diversity, inclusion, DEI work and DEI commitment, because
Tío Sam.
That in itself is telling, right, that they're, they had committed. So like after COVID, through COVID, after Terrence Floyd.
Yeah, the Floyd.
Yeah. There was this huge push and
George Floyd,
thank you. This huge push and huge change around the country to actually invest in marginalized communities, to
Right.
really help and support marginalized communities. And as they start to peel back those layers outside of like the Pride Center and the arts, right, that investment is at risk.
Of course it is.
As you see all of these companies start saying that, oh, well, we don't care about this anymore because the rhetoric at the federal level says you don't have to.
Right. And so interesting that you say that. So Apple, and as a company, refused to donate money to the Trump campaign or even to the Trump inauguration fund. But Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, an openly gay man, has committed to donate $1 million towards the Trump inauguration fund from his personal money. And it was reported recently. And it's disturbing because it's like you're talking about a company like Apple, right? That on...
I'm sure he was forced. His hand was probably forced in some way.
And it kind of sucks that, that's where we are today, right? Because when you think about Apple, it was one of the first companies to come out with the rainbow emoji, right? And
That's me.
And the unicorn emoji, because you cornered him somewhere and forced him to do it. And it's disturbing to see that an openly gay man who knows the in a sense, he knows that his actions or his inaction, for that matter, have consequences. To see that play out and to see organizations and social media giants like Facebook start announcing that they're going to stop fact checking.
But again, I think that is all pressure from Trump.
I agree. It's the federal government saying, if you don't stop doing this while I'm in office for the next 4 years and, making my life a living hell.
He was canceled so much that he's trying to slap back. He's trying to clap back.
And he's...
Yeah, I think the whole TikTok thing has given them somewhat that leverage.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the whole banning of TikTok in the U.S. unless they sell, I think that plays into it because, they're like, hey.
You know what? I never thought about it that
look
way.
What happened to TikTok?
Right.
And if you don't make these changes,
right,
you're next.
Right.
So
and the fact that...
look at it. And the amount of influencers in the U.S. that make their living
off of TikTok, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So, start off, you got to look at it from there.
And not only that, it's like, how they always say, like, put your money where your mouth is, or, is that the saying?
Oh, I thought it was put your purse in your booty hole, but...
Well, that too. So the fact that they have complete control of all the branches of government, you have a conservative Supreme Court, you have control of the Senate, control of the House, and a Republican president, gives them the ammunition to say, we have the power to actually sanction you, motherfucker, if you don't do what you want us to do. And I think that the dynamics would have been different if we at least won the House.
But
we didn't. We are. We are absolutely fucked for at least the next 2 years until we have another midterm election to decide what happens. It's insane.
It's going to be interesting.
It's insane. But, that's why we're here. That's why we have activists. That's why we have people that are actively always pushing back against government that tries to infringe on our rights as humans to exist. And it is what it is. Do you have anything?
No.
Okay. So we've talked about enough of the dumpster fire that we're about to embark in.
That we're currently in.
That we're currently in and we're about to embark in for the next 4 years. So I thought that we probably wrap up tonight's episode on a nice, happy note. And I wanted to talk about the Golden Globes.
Ozempic Ozempic's biggest night out. Did you hear that?
No.
Nikki Frazier was fucking insane. She was amazing.
Welcome to the Golden Globes. Ozempic's biggest night out of the year.
It was amazing. She was awesome. So I wanted to talk about a little movie called Amelia Perez. It's actually a musical, believe it or not. And actress Carla Sofia Gascon, who won the Golden Globe for her portrayal in the movie. The film follows a Mexican cartel leader, Gascon, who enlists a lawyer, Zoe Saldana,
Yep.
to help her disappear, to remove herself from the whole of being a cartel leader and actually go through the process of transitioning into a woman. And to see her play this role, who we are talking about an actual trans individual, and win a Golden Globe for her portrayal is just absolutely incredible. And it just goes to show you that, you know, anything is possible if you believe and you work hard and you do what you got to do. And I wanted to, before we get into all of our announcements, wrap up with saying congratulations to Carla Sofia Gascon and listen to her acceptance speech, if you will allow me. Here we go.
The light always wins over darkness. You can maybe put us in jail. You can beat us up, but you never can take away our soul, our existence, our identity. And I want to say to you, raise your voice and say, I am who I am. Know who you want. Thank you so much.
That is just short, simple. I am who I want to be and not who you want. And, you know, you may beat us up, do whatever it is that you want, and we're strong. We stand. And congratulations to her, because I think that she did well. I'm excited. I'm going to watch the movie. I don't know if you want to make it a movie night, but I want to do it. And I have not seen the film, but watching her accept her award and go on stage and say those words was absolutely transcending in its own right. And so congratulations to her, Carla Sofia Gascon, for her portrayal in the movie Amelia Perez. So, all right, boys, over to you.
Sweet.
Trish, you want your love?
She can't function without it.
Thank you, Tom.
Fairy dust, fairy dust, fairy dust.
Number one, Mama Kim's Minute, everyone. Number one. I got all thrown off. Number one, 8 LA cops fired after massive cover-up of police beating of a trans man. Number 2, queer people fighting back on New Year's made San Francisco the gay capital of America. Number 3, the Supreme Court possibly first gay judge was a fearless advocate of racial equality.
I feel like that's a deja vu.
I may have read that last week.
Okay, well,
Alrighty.
Jaybird, over to you.
Alrighty. On this day in gay history, the year 1978, the location, San Francisco, and Harvey Milk makes national news when he is sworn in as a member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors.
Right.
Wow, 1978.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It was murdered shortly afterwards. So
Yeah,
that's the sad part.
that
All right. Jaybird, it's
moving
still
on.
you.
Alrighty. If you love the show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service.
You got this.
By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or browser as soon as the episode is published. You can also support us on Patreon. With Patreon, you, our listeners, can help to support the show with a pledged donation, And donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more.
Nigger trash.
Thank you. All right, everybody, get the Future Method and all other products today. All products are doctor developed, can clean out without hurting your bum. You can take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs and increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece anal glass dilation kit. And get all the information you need with Dr. G's book, But Seriously. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessory and or book today.
I'm going to say you forgot the G on it.
Yeah.
Jay Bird, over to you.
All right, time to put a ring on it. Our show is available on our
was
website,
updating the notes.
GayTalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, and Stitcher Radio.
All right. You can find us on social media, Facebook, GayTalk 2.0, Instagram, GayTalk 2.0. You can email us at gaytalk2.0@gaytalk20.com. Tom?
Don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gents, if you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website. Click on the Contact Us tab, which is located at the top of your web browser. There you can leave comments, suggest topics, submit a question for the cast or an individual host. You can also call us and leave us any questions you may have on our phone or voicemail. The phone number is 334-GAY-TALK, and if you need all of those digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget, we do stream live for our Patreon supporters on the day of recording, and you can access that live stream by becoming a supporter of our Patreon page. Ladies and gents, that is our show. I want to thank you for joining us tonight, and y'all have a good night. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.